Hello, my name is Robert Arangelovich, and I'd like to welcome you to this tutorial about the OpenScape web-embedded client from Siemens Enterprise Communications. Now let's spend the next few minutes helping you become acquainted with your new UC environment. Following the tutorial, you're going to want to spend some time over the next few weeks playing with UC, experimenting with how it works, and personalizing it to make it your UC. But for now, let's have a look at some of the basic functions, including configuration of the client, as well as the routing and conferencing features. You'll now need to do a few things in order to get started with your new UC environment. Let's start by setting up the OpenScape web-embedded client and having a look at some of its basic functions. As part of your company's migration to UC, you and your colleagues may have been assigned new phone numbers. Your phone numbers, old and new, were included in the welcome email you received from your IT department. You should spend a few minutes getting acquainted with your new number. When you first open your desktop client and click on Preferred Device, you should see your phone number already entered for you. If you only have a soft client, then you will see just your new number in the list. This should be your preferred device. If, however, you have both a desk phone and a soft client, you may be very surprised to see two very similar phone numbers in this list. The first number corresponds to your desk phone. The second number is the number for your soft client. Does this mean that the people who call you need to learn an extra number? No. The entire idea behind UC is that you are reached under one number, your office number. But why do you have this additional phone number? As you will see later, having two numbers will give you additional control options. While we are looking at the menu, we should take a minute to add all the other devices you normally use to communicate. This will allow you to work with them more easily in the future. Now, let's start with your mobile phone number. To add a new device, go to Menu, General, and then click on Devices. Now click on New. You can give a name to the device, calling it, for example, Mobile Phone. Under Device Address, type your mobile phone number. Then press OK. Congratulations! You have just added your first new device. If you frequently work at home, you might want to add your home number as well. Remember that this number will not be visible to the people who call you. One thing that's useful to note: if you do not answer your phone after it has rung for a certain length of time, the call will automatically be forwarded to your voicemail. You can define how long your phone will ring before the call is passed to your voicemail yourself. You can also specify that calls are not passed to your voicemail. Your desktop client is a phone, and you will need to add a headset or handset to speak through. Note that not every type of headset is compatible with your desktop client, so you should first check to make sure your model is in the list of recommended headsets. Before you add your headset for the first time, you will need to configure it. First, make sure you have started your desktop client. Then, attach your headset to one of your computer's USB slots. A pop-up should now appear telling you that there is new hardware. click on the button announcing the new hardware. All of these features look very nice, but how do you use this client to make a call? The client offers a lot of different ways to make a call. The most important way is to call a person using his or her name and let OpenScape find that person. Or you can call out of your journal or contact list simply by clicking on the handset symbol next to the name. And of course, if you know the number, you can also dial it. Go to the name or number box in the client, enter the name or the number, and then click on the green phone icon. To hang up, click on the red phone. To ensure that you always have the right number, I suggest that you store the international number using the plus sign in your address book. You can also use this new desktop client to chat, even with several colleagues at once. And if you decide you would rather talk to your chat partner on the phone instead of writing chat messages, you can change the chat into a telephone conference. There are different ways to start a chat. One method is to open your contacts and see who is available to chat. Then click on the chat icon next to your colleague's name and start the chat. You can also invite more people to take part in an ongoing chat. Just click on the invitation icon at the bottom of your chat window. Then add the person you would like to talk to from your directory. To make a call from the instant messaging chat, simply click on the green conference triangle. All of the features of the new OpenScape web-embedded client may seem overwhelming at first, but trust me, you'll get used to it in no time. To help make your first few days a little bit easier, allow me to provide some advice and recommendations on how to manage the client. The desktop client has several areas. The main bar, at the top of the screen, gives you access to change the settings for the client. You can do so by opening up Menu. The bar displays your current device and current status as well. It also provides you with a convenient place to enter a name or a number to make a call. When you enter a name, the window opens. Simply click on the phone icon next to the name of the person you would like to call. The tabs, right below the main menu, provide quick access to the functions you use on a daily basis. The Missed Calls tab shows calls you have missed. You can return the calls simply by clicking on the phone icon next to the appropriate person's name. The Journal tab displays a list of all your outgoing and incoming calls. It also enables you to organize your journal and make calls very quickly. The Voicemail box tab gives you an overview of the people who have left a message on your voicemail box. You can listen to your voicemail or call back the people listed here from this tab. The Conferences tab shows you all the conference calls scheduled for you. You can join a conference by clicking on the green triangle. The Contacts tab gives you a number of different options for getting in touch with your contacts. You can click on the icons next to the person's name to write them an instant message or an email, or simply call them. The Instant Messaging tab lets you start a new instant messaging session by clicking on New. The Forward Call tab allows you to organize call forwarding and set your preferred device with just a few clicks. Under Directory Search, simply enter a name in the search box, and with one more click, you can then either call the relevant person or write an instant message or email them. The Bookmarks tab enables you to bookmark important pages and display a list of the pages bookmarked. The Soft Phone menu, located at the bottom of the screen, provides control of soft phone functions like the call volume. I would now like to point out a very special icon located on the main menu, the Pearl icon. You will see the Pearl icon rotating whenever you have missed a call, have a voicemail waiting for you, or when another OpenScape user has requested your permission to see your present status. Clicking on the Pearl icon will give you access to several other menus, which we will explain later. One of the greatest aspects of the new client is the routing functionality. I'd like to spend the next few minutes introducing you to the routing settings of the OpenScape web-embedded client, and then show you how to personalize them. Let's look at a way we can set up a few common sense default routing cases. You can personalize these later as you become more familiar with OpenScape and how to use it. Open up the routing settings by clicking on Menu, then General, and then Presence and Preferences. Also, let's look at how we can use your present status together with your list of devices to control when and how you want to be reached, and to control when you do not want to be reached. This menu gives you a list of your present statuses, which you can use to route automatically to your preferred device. Let's set up a few common sense default settings. If you are available, then you should set the routing table to say Use Office Phone as the default. For Do Not Disturb and Unavailable, you should set the table to say Voicemail. For Be Right Back, you could choose either Voicemail or Mobile Phone. For Busy, you could set Use Office Phone. For In a Meeting, you can set this to Voicemail or Mobile Phone. Then click OK. And now, when you change your present status, you will see that your preferred device changes automatically. Of course, you can also change your preferred device by opening up the Preferred Device bar and clicking on your preferred device. There are a lot of ways people can communicate with you today, and OpenScape offers many options to help people reach you. But remember that the main idea of OpenScape is to tell people just one number, and then let OpenScape find you. To help OpenScape find you, you can set up a list of devices that OpenScape can try in a specific order or based on your current status. For example, to let OpenScape hunt for you if you are not available, you can set up a list of devices which OpenScape will check in a specific order. Let's see how to set things up. So OpenScape first checks your desk phone, then your mobile phone, and finally lands with your voicemail. Open up the menu. Click on General, then Common, and then Named Device Lists. Click on New. Now give the list a name by clicking on New Named Device List. For example, we will call this one Hunt for Me. Then add the list of devices in the order you want OpenScape to look. You do so by clicking on Add Devices from List, and then choosing the devices you want to see in your named device list. Close the window with OK. And now you can see Hunt for Me in the device list. Unfortunately, your voicemail number is not always added to the device list automatically, so please make sure you add the number to the list if it is not already included. But first, how do you find your voicemail number? Please ask your administrator for the forward access number of your voicemail. Now that you have the number, you add it the same way you add any other device. When you look at the device list, you will now see voicemail listed as one of your devices. We will explain how to forward your calls to voicemail in a minute. Before we talk about how OpenScape can help people reach you, I want to explain how you can make sure that they reach your voicemail when you are not available. For years, all of you have used call forwarding to route your calls to voicemail when you cannot answer or are on vacation. Using call forwarding is very simple, and many of you will want to continue to use this option. Setting call forwarding is easiest from your web-embedded client. To control your call forwarding options, go to Menu, General, Common, and then Forwarding. Use this menu to forward to voicemail when you do not answer your phone. After 4 rings, your call will automatically go to voicemail. To listen to your voicemail, you open the Voice Mailbox tab and then mark the voicemail you would like to listen to. You can either listen to the voicemail with your telephone or in your browser. Please click on Play Voicemail to do so. Then choose how you would prefer to listen to your voicemail and press Play. Nowadays, it's hard to imagine going about our daily business without conference calls. OpenScape Web Embedded Client offers a number of options for setting up and conducting conference calls. Now let's have an initial look at this conferencing functionality. More and more business communication takes place within conference calls. OpenScape UC helps arrange many different types of conferences and gives you many options for establishing and controlling the conference. The number of conference options may feel overwhelming at first, but you will find that you can handle the majority of conferences by working with just a few basic options. Before starting to create a conference, it is a good idea to plan a few basics. First, you have to decide whether you need to have the call sometime in the future or whether you want to call everyone now, this minute. A scheduled conference takes place sometime in the future. You send the participants an email invitation with a dial-in number. Then, Each participant dials into the conference at the appropriate time. OpenScape assists you by automatically arranging the number for dialing in and even helps you send the email invitations. An ad hoc conference is used to spontaneously call a team. For example, when something has happened and you need to speak to your team as quickly as possible, OpenScape can help you predefine your conference group, see the status of each team member, and let you call everyone with a few simple clicks. You will need to choose whether people should dial into the OpenScape conference or whether OpenScape should call them. As a general rule of thumb, most scheduled conferences have the participants dial into the conference, and most ad hoc conferences dial the participants. By the way, it is also possible to set up a conference directly from your Outlook calendar. Being able to quickly establish a last-minute conference call with just a few clicks is one of OpenScape's most powerful features. Simply mark the people you want to have join the conference in your contacts. Then, click on the green triangle and press Start. The conference opens immediately and automatically calls the participants. To make things go quicker, it is a good idea to spend a minute now to predefine some of the groups that you may want to talk to quickly. For example, your project team. Let's see how to set up a conference group for a project team. Open the menu for Conference Group by clicking on the blue Make Conference icon. Then, add a name for the conference. We'll call this team Conference Call. You can include participants by clicking on the spyglass to add them from the various other directories linked with OpenScape, or just write in their name. If they are external partners, you can add them simply by typing in their numbers. Remember to use the full international numbers for this. And please, also add their names and email addresses for automated conference notifications. Now, check the direction of the arrows. The arrow pointing to the right means that OpenScape will be calling them. You can change this simply by clicking on the icon. Click OK, and the conference will be added to the list of your predefined conference groups. The conference is automatically assigned a PIN and bridge number, which are then sent to the invitees via email. You can now click on the Edit Conference icon and the conference group to review all the people selected. We often use our Outlook calendars to schedule meetings. How can OpenScape help me set up a conference from Outlook? Your Outlook calendar screen displays a button offering to create an OpenScape conference. Open your Outlook calendar. Then mark a specific date and time. Schedule a new appointment by clicking on New. Now, assign a name to the conference, such as SalesConf. Go to Scheduling and add the participants you require from your directory. Then press Add OpenScape Conference. You can either schedule a web conference or an audio conference. In this case, we have chosen an audio conference. Now, click on OK and send invitations to the participants by clicking Send. The conference is automatically displayed in your client under Conferences. You can click on the conference to view the participants and other information concerning this conference. An audio conference can be expanded into a web conference if this option has been provided for and authorized by your administrator. To open a web conference, you first schedule your conference with Outlook in the way we have already shown you. Now mark Add Web Conference and choose Fast View as your conference provider. Then click on OK. The moderator can start the conference from Outlook easily by clicking on the Start Conference or Start Web Conference icons. The conference invitation includes a link to the web conference. The participants click on the link and Fast Viewer opens for them. They are now able to see the moderator's desktop and can work on documents with them. Fast Viewer also enables files to be exchanged and, of course, offers you many other options.